Gotcha.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Monster Hunter World video. This is Thegameconomist, and today we'll be taking a look at one of the best heavy bowguns in the game, the Magda Gemitus. The Magda Gemitus is a Zora Magdaros weapon, and it was actually the best heavy bowgun in the game until Devil Joe was released, and we got the Dark Devourer, which ended up having a slightly higher attack value, something speedrunners especially value. However, Magda Gemitus isn't far behind in terms of damage, and it also carries the Paralysis Ammo, which Dark Devourer does not have. So recently I've seen some people bringing this heavy bowgun out just for the last stage of fighting the Behemoth, and they end up playing a crowd control role. Magda Gemitus can proc sleep and paralysis, and after you've spent up those ammo types, you can then swap over to causing KOs using the sticky ammo, which is extremely easy and effective. So let's begin this weapon review by taking a look at Magda's base attributes. You can see how Dark Devourer does edge it out in terms of damage. You can also see both heavy bowguns have a lot of negative affinity, but this won't affect explosive ammo types like sticky ammo, cluster bombs, or wyvern ammo, so the negative affinity doesn't really matter and can just be ignored. Magda Gemitus has wyvern snipe rather than wyvern heart. In this case, that doesn't really matter, because you shouldn't ever be using it over its more damaging or important ammo types, like the crowd control ammo types or cluster bombs. Finally, notice you can add 2 augmentations to the weapon, and I'm going to recommend putting on 2 health regen augmentations just because sticky ammo, wyvern ammo, and cluster bombs are terrific for gaining your health back. Now that we're done talking about the base attributes, let's go ahead and move on to talking about the builds. I actually have 2 builds for you guys today, one for crowd control, which is better suited for helping your teammates, and another for maximizing cluster bomb damage. I've curated the builds to only use armor sets that are available on the PC. That's because as of this video, the Dark Devourer currently isn't out, so mostly this weapon should be really important to the PC players, and I actually had a lot of requests for it, and I just wanted to show you guys some builds using the vanilla armor sets that you guys actually have access to on the PC. With that being said, the builds are already pretty good anyway, so even if you're playing on the consoles, you could just follow the build, or you can try to substitute pieces of armor that you know are going to be better. So, looking at the crowd control build, when you're using this, notice that I've brought the artillery skill, and this raises the damage output of the sticky ammo, and I've also brought the slugger skill to increase KO damage of the sticky ammo. So really, essentially you can just spam sticky ammo the whole match, and occasionally mix in the sleep and paralysis ammo whenever you have an opportune moment. Artillery is also important for raising the damage of wyvern ammo, which you'll use to wake up the monster. You'll also be bringing mega barrel bombs and the bombardier skill, so really you're going to be able to put the monster to sleep and then wake it up for really high damage. Note that the cluster bombs will still do a ton of damage on this build, but keep in mind that cluster bombs spread out and will knock your teammates away from the monster, so be careful when you choose to use a cluster bomb, and try to aim for a part of its body where you're not going to interrupt your teammates. Try to aim away from your teammates. Explosive damage does the same amount of damage no matter where you land the shot, so it's okay to aim for a really obscure part of the monster's body. As for the second build, you'll notice artillery is not on this because cluster bombs are not affected by that skill. Kind of strange, isn't it? I'll actually say that again. So sticky ammo and wyvern ammo are affected by artillery, but cluster bombs are not. Instead, you just want to raise your raw attack as much as you can, and that's why we have skills like the attack boost, peak performance, and even agitator. Now, this is secretly one of the strongest, most meta solo builds in the game right now for the PC, especially if you already have the Rocksteady mantle. And later on, you're going to get Lunastra, and she's going to give you the Temporal mantle, which only makes cluster bombs stronger. The goal here is to simply spam cluster bombs level 3 and to craft more cluster bombs as you go. I talk about that in finer details in my cluster bombing video, so if you're stuck, I'll leave a link to that in my description and comment section, and you can give that a look as well. Moving on, I want to show you what some of the key items that you're going to want to bring with you, what those are. I also want to show you what the radial menu should look like. And notice I've added a shout out on your radial menu that warns players when you're going to put the monster to sleep. This should help them from accidentally waking the monster too early, but you're probably going to have a lot of trouble with that. I remember when the game first launched, that was a big problem. Lastly, for the tier rating, I believe the Magda Gemitus deserves to be in the S tier for being able to cluster bomb spam at high damage. The only reason you don't see this gun more often is because not enough people know about it, and usually the people who already do know about it, they have the Dark Devourer and they're using that instead. Alright, well that is everything I had to say about the Magda Gemitus. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.